you go and talk to people about this thing that we discovered a few years ago, that actually we can't prove that we live on a spinning ball. I know it sounds crazy, and it sounds crazy to most people at first. It's meant to think that. But what's your best experiment that proves to you that you live on an experiment, like science experiment, that proves you live on a spinning ball?
What did you study at school, university?
I'm in university. I'm an environmental studies major.
Oh, wow.
Excellent, good.
And a sociology minor. And I mean, day-to-day little mini experiments will prove gravity.
Could you give us one, because we're not very knowledgeable of the ones that are out there. Could you tell us one that proves the existence of gravity?
Well, if I were to drop my phone, it's going to fall.
Okay,
onto the ground, as far as it can go.
Now, would you agree that science should be open to being questioning and challenged?
Of course.
Okay, so I'd ask you, how do you know a force is pulling that down?
How do you know a force? Why isn't it pulling it up?
Because density and buoyancy explains why things drop and why things rise. Because the molecules...
Well, your phone is more dense than air.
Yeah, so it drops. But a helium balloon is lighter, so it'll rise. Yeah. So that was around before the theory of gravity came into play. Now, the theory of gravity has never been proven. There's actually no proof that gravity can hold water to the exterior of a ball. Don't you think there's things such as self-evident truths? Like fire's hot, water's wet.
Ice is cold.
Okay, right, all our senses and our common sense can tell there's four entities here talking. Is that true or not? All our senses are telling us that there's four entities here talking.
It seems that way.
It seems that way, or is it?
Did you feel that? Did you feel that?
We can touch, smell. Yeah, but we can touch, see, smell, hear each other. Now the whole world could walk past and they would all agree there are four entities here talking. Yes. So we have to use our common sense when we start talking about, oh, are we here or are we not, or could we be a hologram, or could we... We have to keep our feet on the ground and have common sense and natural observations. And science is built on natural observations. And our natural observations are telling us there's no curvature anywhere. When you flew from America, you never seen the curvature, did you, from the window?
Didn't look out the window.
Well, you never looked out the window. But we should be seeing curvature at that height.
We should be experiencing it as well, because there's meant to be 1,000 miles of curvature on this earth between America and England. So either the plane's got to be coming back up around a ball or going down around a ball if we live on a ball. Over that distance you should feel it in your bum, you should feel it in the seat as we sort of descend down the ball. But actually the plane gets to its cruising altitude, 30,000 feet, and it just sits there and it stays super level for the whole 10 hours of the flight.
Based on the size of the planet, the curve is not extreme enough to really notice.
I used to say the same thing, but actually it's only 25,000
That's the official
miles
figures of the curvature.
So when you fly from America to, say, England, you're actually flying over about 10 minutes of the arc of a clock, of a 24-hour clock. So there's actually quite a lot of curvature, because it's 4,000 miles to the center, apparently. Although we've only dug 8 miles down, so we don't really know. My oldest child is in university studying history, and you know, I brought her up on exactly the same science that I now realize was just based on images, ideas and theories. And the biggest one is that because you can lift something up and then it falls back down again, proves that now water is going to then stick to the ball, and people can sort of walk underneath the ball and imagine that they're still on top of a ball because of another idea called relativity. Then I'm saying to you, no, actually take all the ideas away, all the theories away, and water, when I see it over a pool, it's flat. When I see it over a lake, still flat. When I see it over the Suez Canal, 100 miles long, still flat. So if I take 10 Suez Canals or 20 Suez Canals, I get from here to America, still flat. Common sense says that's still flat. We would say that maths and these ideas called gravity and relativity would have it do something different. Well, I'm saying that's not proven. We can't prove that. And we're asking people to go back and look, because you have to look at this yourself. You'll never have me prove it to you. It'll only be you going, let me measure that, let me check that, let me go and look at 200 proofs Earth is not a ball. You can watch these documentaries or these shows on these things on YouTube, and go and look at the questions that people are asking, look at the experiments that people are doing to debunk the science that we all believed in. And don't feel like it's like your intelligence is at risk here, because
so
we've all gone through it.
I get on a plane.
Okay.
You go from, let's just say we came from Boston to England. What if we just kept going all the way back to Boston and didn't change direction?
Okay.
how does that mean that the Earth is flat?
Okay, so imagine this.
You never change direction.
Imagine this statue is like the North Pole. On a flat Earth, there would be like a North Pole in the center, and then the continents would be dotted around it, and you just kind of go in an east or west route around the Earth. And we've done that thousands of times. No one's got any complaint about that. What we've never done is gone from the north through the South Pole
That would
and
mean you're
come up
flying in
the
a
other
curve.
side.
That would mean you're flying in a curve.
Yeah, but speak to the pilots.
saying if you're going straight.
The pilots don't fly in a straight line, nor do ships sail in a straight line.
No, they
Yeah,
go
they
from
sail around the
airport to
continent.
airport. They fly over airport.
So if I can show you this is like a typical idea of how the flat Earth map might look, right? And so if this was America there, and you were flying from, say, California, no, you were flying from this side, you're just going to kind of come do a straight line across from there to there.
Okay, what if I
You
want
never
to
need
fly
to
to
turn.
here and then continue going back?
Well, you see, they wouldn't plot a course like
they
that. So you
can.
would. Well, I don't know. I think it's what it is like they would take a heading, say, to Hong Kong, that would be 270 degrees or something like that. And they would follow that heading for 12 hours and they'd get to Hong Kong. Then when they got to Hong Kong, they would route you on a flight that would take you to, say, somewhere in Russia or somewhere in Canada, perhaps. And they would get on that flight and go on 90 degrees or 70 degrees or whatever and go all...
The reason why they do that is because they fly over roughly each individual airport just in case there's
Well, we've looked at all the flight routes, and many of them make so much more sense on a flat Earth map than they do on a globe. Like, there's so many times where, like, flying from America to South Africa, where I'm at, is the craziest thing. You've got to fly up into Europe, and then down only can you get it. The same is true with flying to Australia from South Africa. They bring most of the flights up into Dubai, into the northern hemisphere, and then back down into Australia. It makes no sense. But on a flat Earth map, they're almost straight lines. And airlines are not going to fly long dogleg routes unless they really have to. So no, when honestly, all the answers you have, I've heard these. Harry's been doing this longer than I have, but I've heard these many times, and we've had to look at all this stuff again. So I'm asking you just simply to go and look at this stuff again, and give yourself a few months, years even, to kind of just let this permeate as a possibility. Because honestly,
one glaring evidence is this is NASA's original footage. Now, they present us a blue marble shot every year of Earth. In 2012, look at the size of America.
America was huge in 2012 and it lost weight in 2013.
So that proves that both can't be right. But the guy who creates these is called Robert Simon. You can hear him on a radio show on the internet, and he claims they're all Photoshop. They're not photographs. So he makes them through Photoshop. So we have no real photographs of Earth.
Same with the planets. They're just CGI. Because if you look at the planets under your own high-powered camera, you'll see lights, not rocks, not gas giants. Those have been made up for science fiction.
So what do you have to say about the small group of astronauts that actually go to the space station? Are they not seeing something real?
They're faking it for us. They're doing the spacewalks in a fish pool, in a swimming pool, and they're doing a lot of the sort of weightlessness stuff, either with harnesses or in a blue screen, like Vomit Comet plane that kind of simulates zero G.
You can see all that evidence on YouTube as a researcher, but most people don't research; they just believe what they're being told.
What about astronauts video conferencing back to Earth, showing things? They're faking it on the video conference when they're filming them film themselves.
I have a question. What is the purpose of anything being faked? This being faked, not everything.
Yeah.
What do you think is behind that?
Okay, they was maintaining a lie that was started 500 years ago when they invented the first ball. Earth was invented 500 years ago by the religions, actually, by the Vatican, by the Roman Catholic Church, and they have used this. They've hidden this truth about Earth being flat, and I'm not suggesting that the Bible's 100% right, but certainly when the Bible says that the Earth is flat, it's because they all knew it, and that if the Earth is flat, they are hiding more land. They're keeping you a slave, and this idea that you're just a monkey that evolved and you need the government to protect you from incoming comets like the dinosaurs, which we no longer accept as real. And also, perhaps most importantly, that you might be the divine center of creation. Each of us might be that, and that this system of subjugation has robbed us for centuries, and anyone who spoke out against that was branded a heretic, a witch, drowned, you name it. But people who spoke against the system were pushed out and held down. Why? Because they don't want you to know that you are perhaps the creator having your own experience of your creation. And if that's true, there can be no queen and king that stands above you, because you are at the very pinnacle of everything. And that this earth was designed for us to come and have a beautiful experience of, not one in which we have to feel subjugated for our gender, our race, our this, our that, all these different sort of things that we fall in line with as we go through the education or indoctrination system as we see it now. So we're saying that you can liberate your mind with this knowledge, that you can become all powerful in your own way and find your own true light. With that, who knows, if you can do it for your neighborhood, fantastic. If collectively we can do it for all of humanity over a period of time, then maybe that's why we're here.